and welcome into this week's episode of Untold Stories, a weekly D&D campaign set in the world of Elvoria. We are back with these wonderful humans. Chris is just making a cup of tea, and Emma's probably not joining us for this session, too busy being a biologist. But we're all back to roll some dice, do some questionable accents, and hopefully tell a decent story. Previously, in the town of Narray, you once again split the party. Three of you, two of the charismatic ones and the person who actually dragged you here in the first place, headed down to the Saffron Medallion for a conversation with the figure known as Pint. Conversations yielded some mutually beneficial agreement, on which both of you had dealings to be had with the figure known as Fiddler. And so you agreed to venture into the Israel Wood and try and find them. Meanwhile, the remainder of your hodgepodge group of travellers headed off into the Mounds, the less muddy part of town, to try and find a bookshop. Unsurprisingly, despite it being about 10 PM at night, all the bookshops and other shops were shut. But you did luck into meeting the owner of a shop that had books in a pub. What followed was a bewildering attempt to flirt for the gnome, despite not being asked to do it. And eventually, after that awkwardness, you agreed to meet her at her shop the next morning. You then all met up at the Riverbank Bunkhouse, a pay-by-the-hour place for sailors to have some shore leave, and agreed you would all venture into the woods tomorrow to help Balrick try and finish off his purpose this far south. The next morning, you returned to May's Goods in the Mounds, with the halfling owner explaining her shop worked more on bartering than simple payment. After a short period of delving into the shelves, some of you left with new items of varying intrigue. And that is where we will pick up our story. In the morning of the 5th of Afflicadair, you are all assembled, Metal Wolf and all. Drake still currently with the wagon. Outside May's Goods in the cobblestone square at the centre of the Mounds. Sunlight is trying to kind of burn its way through this haze of cloud in the sky, and there's a dampness to the air that stops it from getting too warm. A large wagon with a couple of oxen kind of weaves its way towards the outskirts of town, laden with box and barrels, while a pair of stone guard do a tour around the sturdy stone buildings to the north end of the courtyard. And you can see from this vantage point down in the dockyards a new ship pulling into port, and a veritable swarm of dock workers start unloading and loading cargo. Some of you, as I mentioned, are holding newly acquired objects, and despite refusal to not call yourselves an adventuring party, have somehow agreed to delve into the woods to solve a mystery, otherwise known as You Have a Quest. And this isn't the first time you've done this as well, with having delved into the woods in Calcare. So perhaps you should have a think about exactly what you're doing and your plans for today.
Okay. We got the books, I think. Oh, fine. Mm-hmm.
Sparks of something.
No,
I'd be worried
I
about
don't think
sparks
so.
in the bookshop.
I'm genuinely not surprised that that place hasn't burnt down with the stuff everywhere. It seemed kind of unsafe in there.
Good. Very.
I've seen less flammable timber piles.
So what you're saying is you would like to protect her?
Not specifically. I don't wish her any harm.
Suppose that's
Okay,
good
I'll
enough.
take it. he's he's hopeless, but
Are we going somewhere else now?
I think people wanted to go shopping.
shopping. There is shop, not this shop with the books, but shops that have useful stuff that we can use for going into the woods
Going to the
again.
Do they sell waders?
We're going to have to find out. I don't know. Also,
With this much water around, you'd assume somebody sells waders.
Me and Lesley found there's these like boat jetty things that people ride on. Maybe we can hire one of them to get around, navigate around the swamp.
is it the swamp we're going into? Or is it like a dry forest further away?
Roll me a nature check. Balrick can too, considering he is a ranger.
Yeah. 6.
Togrim, very familiar with forests and
24.
swamps.
24. 6 and 24. Total of 30. Good work, team.
Teamwork.
So, Togrim, you have no clue if you're going to base it on what you've seen around town. Honestly, could vary from kind of solid stone earth to just pure waterways. Balrick, with kind of a scout and rough knowledge of kind of how rivers and forests work in this kind of land. In general, everything is winding down to the large, like Amazonian size river that all the ships sail along. And based on the river, it's probably the western side of the forest that's more lagoon-like and heavy water and like wouldn't be navigated by these skiffs and boats that you've seen. But the further east you go in the forest, the more likely it's going to get to kind of firmer ground, like the kinds you travelled on via the road. Kind of, it gradiates across west to east in the forest.
Do we know which bit of the forest we're looking at? We're going to be looking into.
From where you are now, you would start towards the western side of the forest, so you're more likely to have that damp stuff. But you could, in theory, kind of work your way east into the forest if you wanted to. In terms of like where you're starting, the information that you got from your kind of snooping around, you sussed that whoever did leave seemed to have an exit that led to a pontoon. So probably took to the water.
We're gonna try and rent a skiff and try and follow that trail along there. We're gonna head into there's firmer ground in part of the forest, but I think we're gonna start in the sort of marshy lands. Maybe we rent a skiff off someone.
Okay.
I think we go shopping to find stuff to, medical stuff and stuff if we can. Protective gear.
Tauri,
Yes,
you'll remember.
potions or something would be nice.
Tauri, you'll remember a shop that, or at least a high street that you walked along previously.
There is some places like that. The street that way somewhere had some. Hopefully they have some trousers. I don't really want to go wading in skirts.
Aye, on with it then.
Cool. You head down towards the swamps, which was where this high street was. It kind of runs along the wooden fence that separates the swamps from the dockyards. As you're walking, Togrim, like, it doesn't escape your notice that you as a group are drawing a lot of attention. Some of you are fairly well dressed, and it isn't helped by Lesley, who is constantly like going up to various people and asking about Cassandra, which just continually gets in the way. But the thing that you notice more than anything is the number one thing that draws attention is the number of people who are side glancing at Pebble. So, I mean, tell me, roll me an insight check, actually.
Insight is positive, but I rolled a 3 again, so 4.
4. You kind of you're unsurprised that a metal wolf is grabbing attention.
Yeah.
Even though the Clockwork Guild is somewhat well known, like down here is probably not. So seeing a metal contract of any kind is probably quite a surprise.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But, okay.
There's nothing I can do about it, really. Although I did think to cloak him in the wagon's like cloth we have left over, but that's at the wagon, so I'll do that later.
And if we're gonna go get some waders or something, we could get Pebble some trousers, or I mean, how would a dog wear trousers? Like all 4 legs, just the back 2.
I guess he needs all 4 paws protected.
Depends on how deep the marsh is, surely. He might need coverings up to his chest or higher.
Yeah. I'd rather he didn't get in the marsh. It'd be kind of difficult to get him out again.
I mean, you've got strong arms over there.
Maybe.
Pebble is...
But I'd rather not be carrying a dog.
Yeah, he's quite heavy.
Maybe he can wear little tiny socks that are mud-proof, and we can give Pebble also a cute little poncho match socks. Yes.
Socks works, yeah.
Or if we buy him like 2 pairs of like waders, we can wrap them around him like a little coat, tie them up at the back.
I'm now picturing a Top Gear style amphibious vehicle. Roll out some like plastic barrel pontoons.
To be fair, I was half waiting for them to try and suggest like swamp shoes. Then you just have Pebble do, you know, those dogs where they're wearing like socks for the first time. It's just like weird walk.
I love it.
Not really short, like yeah.
Pebble starts electronically nipping at his heels.
As you come round a corner, Ximori, sorry, just grabbing something. You come around a corner and you come across like some kids playing like patter cake while singing a kind of a rhyme during it essentially. You kind of pick up a couple of words from the rhyme as you come across it. Just says pull out the iron and turn it black, strike down the prince or he'll burn. And then they turn around and like see you and then like scatter as huge people start walking down the street.
And Togrim.
Yeah.
I'm popular.
That was weird. Weird rhyme. I've not heard that one before. I haven't heard a lot of rhymes, I'll be honest. I haven't heard many songs.
It's not one I'm familiar with.
Roll me
Got
a
the trousers.
history check if you want. Anyone from the Empire can roll a history check. No, I'd also say Aderyn can as well. You've been around entertainers enough that you might have heard it.
Ooh,
Why do
that
I get my nat 20 on that roll?
intelligence, doesn't it?
23.
Well, I got a 0, so it balances out.
13.
Sorry, was that 17 from you, Aderyn?
13.
Oh, 13. And a total of what from Togrim?
23.
23. Nice. And Tauri, sorry, I missed yours.
Oh, hold on.
Nice.
Yeah.
You don't have to roll if you don't want to.
What was it again? Insight.
History.
History.
Local culture.
22.
Stays like this, I miss 3.5's like general knowledge and like history local. Yeah, Tauri and Togrim.
Okay.
Tauri and Togrim. You do recognize this. Like you catch the snippet of it, and you're reminded of a nursery rhyme it's a fairly new nursery rhyme. Like nursery rhymes have a habit of like in cultures like going back a very long time, right? Even if the words change, like it's the melody that is fairly consistent in the concept. This one is fairly new. Tauri has been around your whole life. Togrim, not so much. Like you were grown by the time this one was going around, so not you heard it like from children, especially in Andamon, but you don't necessarily know it. The full poem or nursery rhyme reads: "Red is the rose on the evening night, and red is the iron in the firelight. Pour the iron out and turn it black. Strike down the prince, or he'll burn you black. The prince has secret no one knows. The music he sings lets the fires grow. Prickly prince thinks you make him sick, but call his name and he'll be done quick." And you, with those rolls over 20s, you know that nursery rhyme originated in the aftermath of what is known as the Fey Fires, which was a fairly recent but fairly dramatic event in the Empire that was basically a huge period of wildfires, also known as the Spirit Fires, that washed over the northern Brecklian fields and destroyed like hundreds of tons of crop in that year. But that's when it originated. But as you continue walking on, you eventually come onto this high street, and there is all manner of shops down here. Two particular ones that do catch your eyes for the kind of stuff that you've been looking for. You have Frank's Shovel and Sack, which appears to be some kind of like general goods store. Doesn't seem to be like food and stuff, but more like tools and hardware and that kind of stuff. And the other thing is the shop that you noticed previously, Tauri, which is Carol's Charming Chemist.
Oh, sorry. Well, there's your potiony shop. Possibly they've got some anti-bug stuff as well, because that's probably quite wanted in a marsh swamp place.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to have enough of like this little thing for all of you. So, probably worth us buying some more.
Can go in and see what potions they've got.
Yeah.
Also, trousers.
Is there along the street a clothing store too?
By the looks, yeah, there is. Also, by the looks of it, Frank's kind of Shovel and Sack, when you were looking for like waders and like hard wearing clothes, would probably cover that as well. It seems to be like the workman shop where like you'll pick up like fisherman stuff and tackles and hard wearing clothes and that kind of stuff.
Are we going to work from wellies?
Yes, like wellies.
Elegant dress over the top of some wellies.
Fashion.
I just want to see Pebble in wellies.
We'll start in the general store if you want, Tauri, because I think that would largely be fairly simplistic.
Yep.
What are you
What was-
looking for?
What was the name of it again, quickly?
Frank's Shovel and Sack. With a fairly crude and simplistic painting of a shovel and a sack.
Tauri is just going to be looking for some a better top, I suppose, is the best way to put it. Her sleeves are quite flowy with her normal dress, so she's wanting something that is a bit more hard wearing, a bit less likely to get just dripped in mud.
Overalls.
No, she's willing to have an actual like change of clothes.
Yeah, it's either there is for someone who is not necessarily used to finery, but at least used to decent clothes, nothing in here is well made, but it is clearly made of like tough fabric, similar to the kind of fabric that Ximori bought in Samurai Car. It's definitely all manner of overalls. The main thing that's actually in here that seems to be like that you get advised by Frank, who is this fairly old, like leathery skinned human with a bunch of like sailor tattoos down one arm, is ponchos and the like. He recommends that there's a bunch of ponchos are the main thing that people will wear if they're heading out into the swamps for that purpose. But easy enough to grab a new set of traveller's clothes. For whatever that costs in the player's handbook. Is there anything else anyone else is looking for in general goods area?
I would also like to buy a new set of traveller's clothes because I only have the one set of clothes in general.
Yeah, as I say, they're nothing fancy. They're fairly simplistic. Like you can,
Also nothing fancy.
overalls are fairly common, and then like tough cotton, not cotton, sorry, linen, like rough flax kind of clothing that will like live up to like branches and stuff trying to scratch at it. A lot of it you think is kind of like repurposed sail that's been like turned into shirts and stuff, which is actually pretty good and hard wearing. No pretty
Are
colours.
there any dungarees?
Yes. 100%. There is plenty of dungarees in various fabrics. Like there's your denim kind of your style. There's also like a rubbery kind of thing that you think is probably from some kind of aquatic creature. And there is even a few like snake skin or lizard skin ones as well.
I'm sort of weighing up the snakeskin one, like, would be easier to wipe stuff off of this. But the eely one is probably more water resistant. I'll go for the eel skin, why not?
Fair enough.
I'll treat myself.
Eel skin dungarees.
For a lovely 2 gold pieces, which is the cost of traveller's clothes in the PA.
Yeah,
There we go.
surprisingly cheap, honestly.
I'd like to buy a couple of things just because I'm looking through adventuring gear and I'm finding some of the fun things. We're near rivers and stuff. It might be nice to have some fishing rods, block and tackle, and a fishing tackle.
Oh yeah, there's loads of that in here.
Yeah.
That's easy to pick up.
Quick, everybody crawl the PHP looking for stuff.
We get a telescoping one so they can store it.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. That's
And like a telescoping.
it's the collapsing ones are made out of bamboo. So someone has essentially found bamboo ones that fit inside each other quite nicely.
Yeah.
Did I
And
get
then
alchemist?
also, I've got 2 more things I want.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially, no, I'm not going to that. I would like a lamp. I've got that fancy magical lamp, didn't I? But I'd like inspired by it to get a real lamp, like a bullseye one, so like a mention them being able to.
Yeah, there's not that many of these. There's a couple. So they're slightly marked up because bullseye lamps are quite hard to make and a little bit technical. So just add like 20% on whatever the cost of a bullseye lamp is.
10 gold or 12 gold.
Yeah.
That's the one where it's like you get a beam rather than a.
Yeah.
And then, because I'm not sure how the situation with Fiddler's going to go, or if there's going to be anyone else around, and if Pint wants to talk, could I get a set of manacles?
So there aren't manacles available in this store.
We need to go to a different kind of store for those.
Which,
That's down one of the
Back to the
seedy
whorehouse it
alleyways,
is,
like
yeah.
tucked around the back of the
Let's go
corner.
back to the inn. Let's go back to the inn.
Yeah, back to the whorehouse.
Fluffy.
No, there's no manacles. There's some chain, like not heavy duty chain, but chain that could be used to it could be used in hauling cargo, down in the dockyards kind of thing. But no, not manacles. It's not that kind of shop.
Rope will do then. But the bullseye lantern, I definitely want it.
Yeah, you can get bullseye lantern because people will often end up in the forest when it's dark, and so like lanterns are valuable. Anyone else?
Are there any clothes in Togrim's size?
Yes.
Cool.
So small folk do exist.
Yeah.
The weird thing about you is the metal wolf. I've frozen.
Look at the stuff that is in like mundane equipment. It is fucking wild. Like in a flying fish ship.
Oh yeah, I was looking at. Technically, a moorbounder from Critical Role is in just common gear, which is wild. Just a panther.
Grappling hook. Please.
That was a good
Probably
question.
not the sort of average thing that you'd buy in a shop.
No, and we're going into a swamp.
I mean, it depends by your definition of grappling hook. There is stuff that, for all intents and purposes, would be a grappling hook. And as it's explained to you by Frank, it's used because often there's not like grappling hooks are used as anchors in the forest, essentially, when you're on the waterways. Because it's much easier to essentially throw something up into a tree branch and anchor yourself on that than try and get it to the bottom of the water where it's soft earth and silty. So you can essentially grab tree anchors.
Yeah, that works. I'll buy a tree anchor. I can use this for various other things. It gives me a reason for my 50 foot of hempen rope.
You know what? That's a good idea. I might buy a tree anchor as well. Just what, 1 gold?
2 gold for a tree anchor.
Is Aderyn buying anything?
No, I don't need anything.
She can't anyway.
I can. You have my money. But I don't need anything. I think I already look fantastic, so.
Do you want any insect repellent while
She
we're
is
here?
in a ankle-length dress, about to head into a muddy house forest. This is going to go great.
I know.
Where did the stations for?
She's got me there.
Every 30 seconds, she's busy having to cast it constantly
Every
to get
6
rid of the mud.
seconds.
There is just a cloud of mud just surrounding her at all times.
Prestidigitation, as you said.
She's like Pigsty, except if Pigsty themselves were clean. That is a Snoopy joke which really ages me.
I mean, do you want to get some insect repellent? There's probably going to be quite a few of them flying about, biting.
Isn't that in the? Is that in the general store? Or is that in the other store?
There is some in the general store, yeah.
We don't get going to punish us.
Yeah.
How much is insect repellent?
Let me check.
I was gonna say this is common enough. Like,
Would you like the greasy salve or the block of incense?
So in here, all you can get is the salve,
One
because
gold piece.
it keeps a little better than incense.
1 gold piece for 20 doses.
It's actually 2 gold pieces in here.
Ah. But it does last for 24 hours and is waterproof.
And 20 doses.
Yeah.
Yeah, 20 doses.
Right, I'll buy 2 of them. Move, Aderyn.
I'll buy 1 for myself as well.
Cool. Frank, in his fairly like terse and straightforward manner, he's somewhat helpful because you actually seem to come in and buy a fair amount. He's not used to buying this much. But completes the transaction and wishes you whatever you're up to with all this stuff.
A nice fishing trip, isn't it?
I've learnt not to ask questions.
That is a smart man, I say.
Roll me a perception check tomorrow.
Oh dear. Ooh, better. You don't get burnt yet, particular dice. 16.
You don't notice any sign of a chain tattoo on him.
Okay, good.
But you do head out, and just across the street is that chemist's shop, if you were interested in heading there as well.
Sort of steer Lesley into there, stop him from bothering her.
Oh yeah,
Number-
Leslie's didn't even come into thing. He was just asking random people, and he's getting quite upset that he isn't getting an answer as to where she is.
Yeah, Lesley, come on.
He just get dragged into the chemist. So
He might be in here, you never know.
the chemist, the shop's like a wooden shack. Feels unfair, but it's made of wood that was formerly white painted. It's been very like aged and chipped since. But you enter through the door, and you come into a fairly busy looking shop. And there are a number of shelves all over this place, and most of them are verging on straight. There's a couple of benches on which have various different pieces of kind of alchemical equipment. Like there's one with like various pestles and mortars next to a chopping board and like shaving like grating equipment. There's another one over by the corner which has like a small almost, it looks like a fire pit. Togrim, you would recognize it more as like a almost like a smelting pit. Like they have these in like highly specific, they can get quite hot, but they contain the heat quite well. And around it are arranged a bunch of kind of glass tubes and flasks, all of which bear like soot marks on them and the like. And just generally this place, it smells of natural things. There's a very herbal smell in this room, with like undertones of earth and slightly stale water. And then coming out of the back behind a kind of a green draped curtain is a short, elderly, brown-skinned woman, very clearly a gnome, with a green head wrap around her greying hair, and a small rat sitting on her shoulder as she comes out holding a flask, got a big hoop gold earrings, and she looks out and says, "Well, what can I do you for this morning?"
Have you got any healing potions?
Yeah? Who's asking?
My name is Togrim. How many have you got?
Let me have a look. Is that all you're wanting?
I'm sure the others will want other stuff.
That's like the rest of you all come in and just start perusing the shop. My, there are a lot of you, aren't there? Well,
Just a few.
let me take a look at the health potions shelf, seeing as you can't do it yourself. Heads over. She is, as I say, very clearly a gnome and like still like 8 inches shorter than Togrim. Clear age has like shrunk her down.
It's so small.
Wow, you're a big one, aren't you? And then she turns around and sees Balrick. She's like, well, that's just showing off. Heads over. And she like guides you over to this healing potion shelf, where you can see it's probably, it fits 12. It's like 2 racks of like 6. I'd say it fits 12. All of them are in completely different shaped bottles. There's some like the classic like bowl ones. There's some that are just like very long test tubes. They're just like lying on their side. And like all manner of different just random stuff. One of them is literally just a jam jar, like sealed shut. Well, if my eyes are as good as they were, there seems to be 7.
6.
7.
6. I'm not there. I didn't come in.
7 potions.
Oh, sorry. I misunderstood what you were talking about for a second.
There's only 6 people.
Tauri has stolen a potion and made a run for it.
Sure, I'll buy the lot. I think.
Oh!
How much are they? I can't remember.
60 gold each.
Potions are quite expensive. 60.
gold.
Okay, I can't buy that many.
Wow, look who came in here, all like splashing the cash until they realise they don't have any.
I mean, we can take a few though.
Yeah, I can grab 3 myself.
Yeah, let's not talk to themselves then.
Me and Aderyn can grab 1 each with added money.
Yeah, I can grab 1 at least.
Well, that's already up to. Wait, you said 3, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, you're already up to 6.
So is the last one in for free?
Maybe if you continue shopping.
What else you got? I say, looking through the shelves for interesting things.
You begin taking a look around, and as I said, there is an amalgamation of stuff in here. You come across like bits of like plant root, like these like small packets, which like you like open them up, and they just seem to have like this dust inside. He like quickly like comes over and like raps your knuckles with a cane for trying to open them up. Ah! Buy it first.
What is it?
This is and then she opens it up to remind herself what's in there. This stuff is awfully useful if you get in a place with too much water. I like to call it dry dust.
That sounds like it could be very useful. So
Grab a pinch of it, throw it in a puddle. It then turns into a marble.
Wait, the water turns into a marble?
Yeah.
What if you're
can you get
inside
the water out of
I
the
don't
marble?
suggest you be in the water.
Can you get the water out the marble again?
Let's find out. And she grabs one.
My 9 intelligence is desperately trying to piece things together.
Grabs a pinch of this stuff, and like goes and grabs like a bronze like bowl, full of water, and she's like, "Well, this is how it behaves." She like drops it in, and you very quickly like she sprinkles it over, and it very quickly this entire like bowl of water just, and then just at the bottom is like this pellet of like compacted dust. It looks like wet sand, but like held perfectly in place. And then she like holds the pellet up to you. Well,
Very nice. I say, and I try and squish it.
and well, look what you done now. I'm gonna have to go find a mop, you foolish elf.
Or I buy more of this off you and make use of it right now.
Okay.
Because it's cool.
She wanders up to it. It is she looks at it. 125, but you get 5 pinches of it in each packet.
Yeah, someone else is gonna have to get a health potion. I'm getting this. Yep, 125 off.
Yeah, I at 180. I'm quite poor now.
You can add a dust of dryness to your potion.
Yes.
So I just told this. We've got 5 health potions currently, because 1 of each.
Oh, we've got 6. Riding.
Ximori has backed out because they wanted a pouch of dry dust. Wandering around elsewhere in here, taking around, you come across stuff labelled Candle of the Deep. She explains, I made this out of alligator fat and enchanted. I didn't say that. No one asked. Okay? This candle will work underwater. Fair few people find quite useful use of these. God, I'm surprised I've still got 3 left. Anyway, she wanders around. There is an entire shelf that Balrick, you noticed looking around here, that is full of kind of antitoxins, anti-poison, anti-venom, like small vials, and including next to that, resting on like this wooden toad-like figure is a small pebble, about the size, about so big, that does have a price label like wrapped in rope around it. That's labelled 375 gold, and there is no other explanation. And then she also continues to show Ximori around, who seems to be the most interested in the random ass crap. And goes, this stuff, quite useful for if you're a performer of some kind, or you know, you just want to let people know you're mad. And she like,
yeah, it sounds like Tauri's thing.
She picks it up. This is mood mark paint. So what you do is you slather it all over your face, like some kind of clown, and then, depending on how you're feeling in the moment, it's going to change colour. Wonderful, isn't it?
That is very interesting and cool, and definitely scientific, I say.
Yes, it is purely done by chemicals.
Plants are impressive.
Exactly. Speaking of which, over here we've got tacky root. Now, this I only actually know comes from Isra Wood. I don't think it comes from anywhere else, which is quite interesting. We think that. Sorry, what was I saying?
Root. Isra.
Yeah.
Tacky root.
If you eat it, I'm gonna tell you now, it tastes awful. But if you eat it, whenever anything tries to poison you, like those damn snakes or just unhealthy water, you'll be fine. Or if you're more into, you know, curative medicine rather than preventative, well, you know, tomato, you can go over there. Hey, move out of the way, tall one. Shoos Balrick out the way and then like shows off the antitoxin shelf.
Right. How much for the root?
Roots are 75 gold each normally, but if you're all putting stuff together, I'm sure we can come to some kind of agreement. Especially if you're willing to do me a favour.
Well, you know, that depends on the favour, doesn't it?
Well, it depends whether you're going into the wood.
Might be heading that way on a fishing trip.
Wow, do you want to make it also a foraging trip?
I think that is something we could manage.
Well then, we might have a deal. So let me know what you all want to get. Bring it up to the counter. I need to sit down because frankly I've been on my feet for long enough. And maybe we'll talk. And she like just wandles over and like sits down and just watching you going around the shop now as you all discuss what you want to buy.
I'm trying to think of ways that I can put mood mark paint on Tauri so that I can know what the hell they're thinking at any one time. They're like a brick wall. It's just... Hey, Aderyn. Aderyn.
I did not hear that last sentence.
If I got this, like... If I got this paint, right? It, like, changes colour depending on what you're feeling. And we dunk this on Tauri. Then we'll be able to tell what they're thinking. Because I don't know about you, but I never know what they're fucking thinking.
I never know what Tauri is thinking. I think she's got something wrong. Like, deeply troubled.
So we use the pain, which she'll never see coming, because, you know, I mean, do it like the mud ball, you know, just kind of whack. And then bam, we can see what she's thinking. Or feeling at any one time. I imagine it might be angry because I've just thrown paint in her face.
It's for the greater good of the group, really, because the more we understand Tauri, the better we can all trust each other and know each other and help each other, right?
Yeah, but it's a matter of like, do I get this paint that lets me figure out what Tauri's thinking? Or
Yeah.
do we get this route that stops one of us from being poisoned? But I mean, let's just not get poisoned.
Yeah,
Huh?
we can just avoid poison, but we
Yeah.
can't avoid not knowing what Tauri is thinking.
Yeah, exactly. And there is literally no other way to tell.
Yeah, it's
It's a win-win.
we don't have a choice in this, I don't think.
Yeah, you see, this is why we're the smart ones.
Yeah, we are so the smart ones.
We know people.
How much money do we have altogether?
I don't keep track of my money.
I now have 11 gold, so
I have lots of money.
Is it all mine?
No. What money is yours? You should be keeping track of your
The
money.
money you have.
You should be keeping track of your own money.
No, but you're keeping track of my money.
What? I just have lots of money.
Yeah, it's mine.
I don't know what you mean.
I think we should get.
I've got
poison
300
root.
gold. So
Put it on Balrick's tab.
Okay. But it's a Balricky thing, nature thing, the poison prevention route or whatever it is.
yeah, that makes sense. I'll buy some. How much was the anti-poison?
The
Yeah.
tacky route is 65
Tacky
gold
route.
each. There's a bunch of them available.
that's
Is
the
it like a
problem.
one-use thing?
Yeah, it's a one-use thing.
Okay.
To fully explain what it would do, if you consume it, you have resistance to poison and other toxins for 8 hours.
Pretty good, to be fair.
What do you mean by resistance to toxins?
So
Resistance to poison damage. I'm
yeah,
hearing.
resistance to poison and resistance to the poison condition. If someone tries to apply it to you, you would have advantage on that save against that poison condition. The reason I say other toxins is just in case anyone wants to say, technically it's venom, and they're like,
Tetanus isn't technically a disease.
Or is it also a curative?
So, the root is not curative, it is preventative. The antitoxins are curative. And then there is this priced up stone. It's not being explained.
Yeah, I'm looking at the stone. Balrick's looking at it and going, I can't afford that, so he's not even pressing it.
Okay.
Balrick's
Use one of my-
No.
Just gonna use 1 inches of dust to clear up the water that I spilled, so that I now have a pellet of water.
It comes with 5 pinches total.
I'll point out to someone else as well. If anyone else has got any money, there's an interesting looking stone there, but I can't afford it.
How much is it?
375 gold.
Spending all on healing potions.
Yeah.
Depending on its cool dust.
Maybe
I'll grab an antitoxin though. So if
The
any of us-
antitoxins are each 50 gold. Just so you know.
So if any of us gets poisoned, we can cure it. I'm only gonna get one though, so let's not get poisoned.
if you really want the stone, Balrick, I can buy it for you.
How much money do you have?
It's in your bag. How much money do I have?
I don't think you have any money.
Yes, I do. I gave it out to you.
I don't know what you mean, but I did just spend. Oh, maybe you gave me about what? It was like what, £180, 180 gold or something.
Yeah, but
But I just spent 180 gold,
No,
so I don't
but-
think you've got much money left.
but over time, there's interest, right? So like my money grows.
yeah, but you've just spent all your money on potions.
No, but
so-
back home, everybody puts their money with these special people. I can't remember their names, and over time you get more money back than you left with them. They
I
call
don't
it.
think Balrick's one of those people.
Yeah.
I
I don't think Balrick is a bank.
What's a bank?
You gave me
There are banks. Banks are canon.
Yeah, but
you
what's a
gave me
bank?
180 gold. I've just spent 180 gold. I don't think you
No,
have any
but
money
that's yours. That's not mine.
left. I don't know what you mean. Here's a potion of healing though.
Balrick, I still have decision power over my money.
Alright, what do you want to buy?
I don't want to buy anything.
Okay.
Currently, no one has bought anything. She has told you to group everything together and bring it to the counter, and she might cut you a deal if you help her out.
Are we only buying the 5 potions of healing then?
And my dust.
I'm gonna buy an antitoxin.
So we've got-
one singular one.
5 potions of healing, antitoxin, and dust,
I reckon if we buy,
which would
if I buy,
come to 475 total without a discount currently.
I'm on the counter going. Alright, I buy one more healing potion. So that's paying for 6. You give us 7.
You got a lot of audacity for someone so tall.
More room to store it.
Roll me a persuasion check.
He's also quite good at finding, certain herbs and such you might need. I say, giving the help action.
What was that?
He's also very good at finding herbs and things and various other things you might want procured. I say, give you the help action.
Okay. You can have the help action for that.
Help action was very useful. It took my 5/3 into a 12/10 actual roll.
Yeah.
I've got a -2 to charisma.
Yeah.
Why do we let you do all these?
Let me do some maths. So you want 6 potions. That's 360. It's vial of antitoxic. Yeah, it's 410. And this dust, which caused a mess in my shop, that gets us to 535.
Can I pause for a second? Ximori, how much are you spending on this dust?
125-ish.
Rather than 2 potions of healing, you're buying a dust that gets through the water.
Yeah, I've got plans.
Towels are cheaper.
I have more interesting plans.
It broke me. Towels are cheaper.
Alright. So back to you. You were doing maths. 535 gold altogether.
Call it 550 and I'll throw in that 7th potion.
Very fair of you. I'll cover that extra 15.
How about 500 and we help you out with whatever it is you wanted help with?
Well, to be honest, you're going to have to help me out anyway, because you just bought me out a health potion, so I'm going to need you to do that if you want any more in future.
Yeah, but we'll do it without complaining.
Everyone complains.
We'll do it with minimal complaining.
Hey, if you're going into... I ain't coming with you into the woods, you can complain all you want. I don't care.
Back,
550, and then, depending on what you bring back, we'll have a discussion. There's 3 things I need in particular right now. But I won't complain about other things you bring back, like more of them roots or whatever. Okay? 3 things. Can you remember 3 things?
I look at Balrick in a panic.
I can remember. I've got really good memory.
Togrim, you know numbers.
I
That
either
doesn't
like
remember
you,
things.
or I don't trust you.
I'm sure we can remember 3 things.
Yes, you. Purple lady.
I've got really good memory.
Okay. Well, remember these 3 things. I need ashwort leaves.
Actual leaves.
Ashwort.
Actual leaves.
Actual, it's not fake leaves, actual leaves.
Leaves.
Ashwort.
Ashwort.
What?
Okay.
Ashwort leaves.
I need more snake venom.
More snakes?
And possibly, I've heard, there are some weird, stinky, humanoid things in the forest. I think I have a recipe with their blood that might do the same thing.
Okay, so...
I can definitely get your blood.
leaves.
No, I need specific blood. I think they're called
Specific blood.
troglodytes.
People.
Troglodytes. Do you need the venom out of the
Troglodytes.
snakes?
Sorry?
Do you need the venom out of the snakes?
Preferably.
If I just bring you a dead snake, is that any use?
It's annoying.
It's
never-
How about a live snake?
What's
Was.
What does a moor snake look like, though? I've never heard of a moor snake.
What?
Well, you wanted more snake venom, not just snake venom, more snake.
No.
You
Balrick,
get out of my shop, tall one!
More snake venom.
Why'd you put up with him?
Out of snakes.
Anyway, 3rd thing I need. Guys, I
That's
need...
already 3 things.
The Troggly-Doo blood.
Those are the same thing. They're for anti-venom things. Which everyone seems to be wanting these days. Third thing I need is Queasure Eucalyptus.
It's the 4th thing, but
I swear to God, if you try to correct me one more time.
Yeah, then can you spell that in chat for me?
No! Yeah. It's QUI dash ZHOR. And then eucalyptus, as in what quality.
I'm gonna Google how to spell that as well.
And if you're going to be wanting more health potions out of me, you better find some of that stuff.
ETUS.
right. So 3 things. It's Ashwort leaves, the Troggly-Doo blood, the snake venom, and the eucalyptus.
Yes,
3 things.
3 things.
you got it.
Uh,
Depending on how much you bring back, I might pay you for it.
I've got it, guys. I remember everything.
Right. Anything else?
No, I think we're good.
Well, good luck on whatever you're doing.
Here is the money for my dust.
There you go.
I now have 4 doses of dust and 1 marble of water.
Yes.
Was it the leaves of that eucalyptus stuff, or is it just like the stem?
She would have explained pretty much any part of it.
Okay.
Eucalyptus is technically a tree.
So we just need any of it, just
Yeah,
some of it.
bark or leaves or something to that effect. It
Okay.
pretty much all has the same medicinal use. Which Balrick would know eucalyptus. Varying types of eucalyptus are used for medicinal purposes.
Okay.
You've never heard of this kind of eucalyptus, but you know.
Right. I assume we're heading towards the forest now. I don't think there's any other stops, is there?
Probably
I
not.
think so.
Do something with the wagon and Dave.
They're in a wagon stop. They're like safe. I was just wondering if I get Derek back.
Looks like we got some important stuff on that wagon.
I can leave Derek with it as a guard if we need. He'll guard it fairly well. I don't think anyone will mess with him. I've told him to stay there till I say so, so he'll be there. Or I
Do we
can
need to
bring
grab
him.
anything else from it before we go? I don't think we
I'm
left
not looking
anything
my
specific.
cargo. I'm not looking my cargo into the swamp. We'll get this guy I'm looking for out of the swamp and do my dealings with him out of the swamp, not in the swamp.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
You what? I mean, what a payment there anyway.
Yeah.
Should I grab Derek from the wagon and take him with us, or do I leave him to protect Dave in the wagon?
Probably best we leave him to protect Dave in the wagon, right?
Hey, alright.
I mean, I just don't trust the wagon being left on its own with all our stuff on it.
I don't want to leave my valuables around it unprotected.
Harry, what have you been up to since you didn't enter the shop?
I decided to go have a look around, see if there were any other possible useful shops, and then take a visit up to the mayor's office.
Okay. In terms of shops, are you looking for anything in particular? There's
No, just
there's a smattering of shops, but
kind of a window shopping, in quotes.
I mean the most interesting shop here is a place for the chemist.
Cool.
You're
Fine.
not going to find magic shops or
No, I wasn't
guitar shops
expecting.
or anything like that here.
I wasn't expecting to.
There's a
if I'm
bunch-
honest.
There's a-
Cigar shops.
I said guitar, but sure. Weirdly,
Stars?
cigar shop would be a thing here. But no, you can find like a bunch of like food sellers, like various fruits and fish and that kind of stuff. But beyond that, nothing of interest.
Cool.
But you head up to the mayor's office, do you?
Yeah.
Okay. You head back the way you originally came, which isn't a short trek.
With how long they spent there, I think I might just have enough time.
Enough time to get there, maybe.
Yeah. Anyway, you head off to the mayor's office. Arriving back in that courtyard. And head towards the stone buildings there, of which there's like 3 or 4 kind of collected together. You ask for directions from Scaleguard to head up to the mayor's office. And you end up in front of what constitutes a manor in this town, essentially. Very reminiscent of the imperial style, with kind of heavily angled roofs that overhang slightly, and stonework walls, with a fair amount of exposed woodwork for aesthetics. And you knock on the door. An elf in fairly well dressed attire opens the door. And she's down there. Yes, how can I help you?
I was invited here by the mayor to discuss the dealings in this town. She sent a couple of her employees to say hello.
She?
Is it a she or he? I can't remember.
I mean,
Out of character.
the conversation you had was with she. The other thing is, the conversation you had didn't mention the mayor. Mentioned the judge.
Oh, sorry. For some reason, I had in my head that the judge was
You're in front of the mayor's house now, motherfucker.
I wouldn't have gone to the mayor's house. I'd have gone to the judge's place.
Check your notes. You're in front of the mayor's house now.
I can't find the notes from Emma.
Clearly, Tauri made the same mistake. So Tauri forgot what was said.
But if you have an appointment with the mayor, I'm certain he'll be wanting to see you.
I don't, I'm afraid. I meant to say I have an appointment with the judge, and I've come to the wrong place.
Well,
I'm new to town.
apparently. Well, at least you didn't waste the mayor's time.
Yes.
Judge's house is, well, the judge's courtroom is
Yes.
over there.
Thank you. And I go.
Shakes the head, shuts the door. You head over the courtyard. At this point, you realise that this place is essentially the governing area of town. I don't think the exact terminology I want. It's a slightly walled off area that seems to contain a mayor's house.
District.
District's a good enough term. It's not quite that large. What looks like a small prison, and a courtroom, as well as the attached to the courtroom, the Scaleguard garrison. But you head over to the courtroom. It's not huge, but similar style to the mayor's house, slightly less fancy. Doors are open. You walk in and you come to a curving desk, behind which sits a clerk, a dragonborn, blue scales, kind of looks up from their writing. A couple of like loose dreadlocks from them, so they like fall over and they like, brush them out of hair. Hello, how can I help?
Hi, yes. I was met by a couple of the judge's men and invited to have a chat with them.
Certainly. Do you have an appointment? What's your name? I'll check.
I don't believe we gave them a name, but I'm Tauri Silverhammer.
Okay. Well, if you'll just take a seat over there, I'll go see if the judge is busy this morning.
Very well. Thank you.
She wanders off. After a short while, she comes back. She goes, You're in luck. You have a brief window before she's expected elsewhere. If you'd like to follow me.
Thank you.
She leads you down a short way past a courtroom that is currently empty. So you're not entirely sure what she's got to do after this. And you're eventually led into a side room. The window is a kind of there's a frosted glass window in the door that just reads "Judge" on the front. Knocks on the doors and just from the inside, enter. She opens the Dragonborn opens the door and motions for you to head inside while she heads back to the front desk.
Step inside.
Inside, you find a fairly well-appointed office, a nice broad desk, a number of cabinets, and a few kind of framed pieces on the walls. One which appears to be of a family, and a couple of other like landscapes of the Brooklyn Fields and Dragon Crest Coast provinces. Sitting behind the desk on a raised chair is a middle-aged halfling woman. Her black hair showing signs of grey right at the roots, tied back in a ponytail as she's like scribbling away on some parchment. In a very like nice collared grey suit. Kind of finishes up what she's writing, puts the quill back in the resting spot. Looks up and like affixes you with these kind of very stern hazel eyes. She goes, I was wondering if any of you would turn up.
The majority of my party seem to have an affinity of avoiding the avoiding authority, I should say.
Well,
Why, I don't know, but I always think it's good.
Some people like to avoid getting in trouble by avoiding authority, so perfectly understandable. But
In some ways.
you seem to have a different approach.
Making sure you have contacts and friends wherever you go is always a good thing. Especially if I can help out those who are on the right side of the law.
Good approach to take, though. Somewhat wish more people had that line of thinking. I'll get straight to the point. I don't have a lot of time. And I don't expect many of you are going to be around for long. Your group is an interesting one. You certainly made a bit of a show upon entering town. You're not exactly discreet.
Low-key, no.
And it's very rare for us to see new faces in town. Especially from the road. We'll get new sailors in every now and often, but merchant travellers don't come in fairly that often. Tell me, what exactly brought you and your fellow travellers here?
Myself, I'm travelling these lands trying to look at merchant opportunities, and I know this is a way station down the river, so it's useful to
Have you spoken
have
to
a look
anyone in
around.
town?
Not yet. We visited a local watering hole, and that was an experience, to say the least.
In fact, that is the reason you were brought to my attention.
I'm aware your two men said hello.
I'll be frank. I don't know whether it's escaped your notice, but this town isn't exactly cleanly run.
It had not.
The problem is those who like to work under the table are very good at it. And very few people want to help me try and fix the problem. And yet you, 6, wandered into town and got straight into dealing with certain figures. What do you know?
I know very little. I know that one of our party was here to make a delivery of some kind, but that is it.
Your party works with the
And-
chain?
it has never been mentioned. So I do not think they have an arrangement of some kind. I think
How
they were
long have
more
you known
just
these people?
not too long, but I know for a fact that they would rather avoid this place and have only come here because they must.
Do you trust them?
We saved each other's lives on many occasions. I trust them that far, which is more than I can say for many.
Do you trust them as far as the law reaches?
Yes.
Roll me persuasion or deception, depending on what you are saying.
Well,
And just let me know the number.
yeah. 25.
25. She rolled very well as well. Well, people can surprise you, but it is useful to find people you can trust. Let's cut to it. I'm looking for anything I can use to pinpoint members of the chain in town and exactly their dealings. If you have any physical evidence or proof as to activities that are above your grade and of interest to me, then bring it to me.
Very well.
I'm more than willing to pay for any services rendered, and if your interest in dismantling those who would seek to subvert the law of this empire extends far enough, perhaps you may wish to be involved further. But I am only interested in your help as much as you are willing to give it. I'm not one to bring unwilling people into battle with criminal activity.
Of course. And I cannot speak for the other members of my group. I can only go as far as what I can do, and if they agree to help, then that is their choice.
Very well.
Just out of the conversation a moment, there wasn't any paperwork with the pen, was there?
Not
Cool,
in
that's
not
fine.
in the pen box, anyway.
Yeah, I couldn't remember, because I know I picked up something from one of the dead chain gang people in the previous thing, because that's where I got the pen.
You picked up the pen because the box tumbled off the cart as it went past, if I remember correctly.
Something like that, yeah. I knew I picked up something from their stuff, but I
Yeah,
couldn't
I
remember.
don't think you ever really searched bodies.
No, I didn't, because we were avoiding and just GTFOing.
Yeah.
Cool. No, that's fine. That's what I thought. I wanted to confirm it. Well, if we discover anything, I will be sure to let you know. I know we are about to head into the marsh to find someone.
Very well. Take care. The natural wildlife can be quite vicious.
I'll be sure to keep that in mind. Thank you.
It's at this point the rest of you exit Carol's Charming Chemist, and Tauri's gone.
I'm gonna whisper to Ximori. This is why we need the dust to know what she's thinking.
Then we'd know what she was thinking. This wouldn't be a problem. Where's do you think Lesley saw her? Maybe Lesley. Lesley.
So they also wandered off.
What? I can't do a northerner accent. Chris, give me a key.
Lesley, your voice.
Hey, Bargum.
You bag up. What do you want?
Perfect.
Where's
Right.
Tauri gone?
Wait, Tauri's gone?
You were right here.
I was talking to this fine fellow about Cassandra. I've got a physical description now, so I know what to look out for.
Is that
Great.
helpful to finding anything?
Very happy for you.
Helpful to finding a good time.
Yep, we're headed off into the marsh.
Well, you lot are just boring.
Great stories of adventure to tell Cassandra.
At this point, the person that Leslie's been talking to sounds like, are you talking about the one in the long frilly sleeves?
Yeah,
Long,
that one.
Bright... Oh, she headed up.
Looks very important to herself.
Yeah, I know the ones. She headed back up towards the mounds.
Why is she kind of... Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We go and pick her up from whatever shop she's wandered into. I don't know what she's into. I don't know anything about her. That's why we should have got the paint.
Do we
Still
follow
there.
her around, or do we just wait for her to come back?
Can't get the paint. We can't afford the paint.
The paint. How much was the paint?
A lot, I think.
1,000 pieces of paper.
If the paint is less than 50, I can get it. And even then, I can't get it.
I've got it here somewhere. Harry talking. Oh, here it is. Oh, the paint was only 25 gold each, and there's 2 pots.
Put it on Balrick's tab.
Nope.
My money!
No, it's not.
Togrim, how much gold you got left?
I've got 21.
I've got 11.
Lesley pipes up like, hey, what's this about some paint?
It's magical. It's not magical paint. That'd be ridiculous.
It's
Indeed
space
it
paint.
would.
Paint. Yeah, scientific paint that apparently helps us figure out what Tauri would be thinking or feeling at any one moment because she's just kind of
I'm in. There you go.
sweet.
That's Emma's price for not being here.
We spend 25 gold of Emma's money on a pot of moodbark paint.
Emma's personal money, not like, Emma's.
We've just taken 25 gold's worth of Emma's things.
Direct debit.
Send the bailiffs around.
I just think it's something Lesley is that impulsive and loves causing trouble that much that he would genuinely pay for this.
Right, now who's gonna put it on? Who's gonna put it on Tauri?
I will say, as Lesley actually then goes into the shop to handle this, that I'm gonna go get it, and just heads in top. Has a lovely interaction with Carol. Comes back out. She explained it does take a minute to apply, so we're gonna have to be very tactical about this.
So we wait until she falls asleep. Then while she's sleeping,
Yes.
paint.
Yes.
Because either that or no, that sounds more like a crime. We're not doing that one.
At this point, so you're not having that discussion.
Lesley, you take the paint. You're better at painting than me.
Indeed, I am.
You sound so refined.
I cannot do. I can't do Emma, let alone do. That sounded wrong. Moving on. As you're there discussing buying paint, Balrick, you're just kind of keeping a general eye out, and you do see Tauri heading down. It occurs to me at this point, none of you have had the opportunity to change yet. But we could say you find a spot.
My plan was go back to the wagon so I can put my old clothes in there and change into my nice dungarees, which I assume came with booties. It's part of the traveller's clothes.
Yeah, that's fine. But eventually you do see Tauri heading back down the road. Balrick, you spot her coming back from the mounds.
We're near the wagon, aren't we?
Yeah, you're near it. You can near enough head back to the wagon if you want.
Yeah, if we kind of motion her over to the wagon, we'll all meet back at the wagon and prepare there.
Cool.
Some way over.
You'll grab some clothes. change in your wagon, and are ready to head into the forest. What is your plan for heading in?
Oh, right.
Turning back.
Plans.
Going the other way.
Right, Balrick.
Alright, so I reckon we go down to the place that me and Lesley went, and behind there was, that's where the trail was. And the trail ended with a fiddler going into the swamps. I reckon we go down there and try and find someone around there that'll rent us or loan us a skiff, and we go forward into the swamp.
To this point, Lesley piped his goes, "Oh, speaking of which, I was bored while waiting for you lot and not having anyone to talk to, so I was flicking through his notebook again, and I came across this weird passage that, I don't know, it's weird enough to merit talking about. And he shows you this passage. There is a section dedicated to Auntie Blightroot, or just Auntie, specifically, with like her likes and dislikes, or more specifically, like suggested gifts and things to avoid. Which the suggested gifts says slightly rotten fruit, tea leaves from elsewhere, a bat. And then dislikes is just loud noise, moths, and having her methods questioned. But that's
Good
just
news,
there.
I've got a bag.
The interesting thing is this kind of weird like section here. It just says it's always 2 steps forward and 1 step back with Auntie. I mean, he's always frustrated with her. Why is he always talking to her?
Yeah. Weird.
Tauri roll Tauri roll investigation. You're all back together at this point.
Well, the good news is I've got a bat.
Good.
Investigation 10.
10. You're looking at this. Togrim, you're also looking at with your passive investigation. There's also some like weird symbols down like the side of this page. Like at first glance, you think they're doodles, which is probably why Lesley's ignored them. But they're like doodles tend to at least have doodles tend to be more random. These feel like too ordered. And specifically, they are in the order of... So there's 7 of these symbols, and going down the page, it's an 8 with a vertical line through it. For lack of a better term, the pi symbol, so like 2 vertical lines with a line across. An X, a capital I, but sideways. Not quite an H, more like a capital I. A triangle, a plus sign, and an arrow pointing up.
What is it? An 8 with a line through it.
Yep.
Pi symbol, X, I, triangle, plus up.
Yep. But Leslie's showing you this as you're heading down towards where the edge of the lagoon is, to look for a boat of some kind. Bless you.
What was the order of those things one more time?
8, pi, X, I, triangle, plus arrow. I'll put it in chat after.
Thank you.
Later.
Because I will not remember that, even at the best of times.
My memory's full about the things we have to look for.
This is the problem. Your note taker's not here.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything in the book that might hint as to what the symbols mean?
Roll investigation.
Ximori wouldn't remember, and Andrew would not either. So.
Investigate 19.
19. You flick through. Not really. There's like no other reference to these things through the book.
Okay.
Which in itself is odd. Like,
The 8 is normal. Yeah, the 80 is just normal. It's just got a line down the middle.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a bit angular. Like it's not like a curve 8. It's very much more like straight line, like and then a line straight down.
So something that is, so it's almost like a square 8.
Yeah, 2 diamonds stacked on top and then a line. Vertical 3. But you're down by the dock, not the docks, the lagoon at this point, where there's a bunch of kind of long, for lack of a term, like kayak boats. Also a bunch of like flat, slightly bowed skiffs that people seem to use for like transporting large amounts of like fruit or other plant material harnessed or fish from the woods themselves. So like they're bigger, more like, I'd say cargo, but they seem to like each maybe have 1 or 2 people on with all of the cargo, and then like smaller, faster looking kind of canoes. But as you head down, like you're obviously like looking for some boats to rent, and like it doesn't look like many to rent. It looks like most of these like are made by the locals and used by the locals. But you do catch a booth sitting on like one of these like pontoons, like this very like simple like lemonade stand style thing, behind which, sitting like cross-legged on a barrel, is like this rake thin man with like straggly like white hair, just sitting there staring out into the water, and there's like a sign above that just says boats.
And walk over.
Seems like
Morning.
I'd like to go.
Hi! How can I help?
Looking to rent a boat.
Oh! I haven't had someone do that for quite a while.
6 plus 2 animals.
I don't do animals.
I'm not an animal.
I wasn't talking about you.
I do boats and skiffs.
There's
We've
only
only
one
got the one animal.
We didn't bring. Okay, only 1 animal, and they're mechanical.
I don't know what that means.
Look behind you.
Stood in front of you. Yeah.
It's a cool statue.
And they're quietly wrapping Pebble up fabric.
It's not a statue, it moves.
Fancy.
Either
What's
way,
that got
I
to do with
think
boats?
that's the
And we
passenger.
hire a boat to transport 7.
No. Don't have a boat big enough.
A skiff?
Yeah, not going to transport 7, are you?
If you got 2 boats, they could do like 3 or 4 people.
I can do 2 skiffs. One of you's quite small. One of you's quite large.
And the statue's quite heavy, so
You questioning my boat?
no, just make sure we get enough that we can all float.
I promise you you'll float. People tend to float,
Metal doesn't, though.
but my boats are made of wood. I think you'll find my boats are made of wood. What's metal got to do with it?
I do it clang clang on Pebble's head.
That's a weird noise. Not used to dogs making clang noise.
How much to rent 2 boats?
Depends how long.
Say a day.
Say 1 gold each.
What if we rent it for a total of 4 days and paid up front? What kind of a discount would you give? 20 gold?
How many are there?
2 boats.
6 of you. I'll tell you what. I'll give you the statue for free.
So how much would that be in total?
I don't know. She's the one who did the numbers.
24 gold.
Or is it 1 gold per person?
Yes.
Ah.
Per day.
I'll hold up 24 gold coins. Pay you now.
Don't break my boats. No points at 2 skiffs. Very well built skiffs. Not gonna lie, like these things seem sturdy as hell. And each one comes with 2 long paddle-like things that your immediate assumption are used for either pushing along the riverbank, or can actually just be used as like long oars if needed if the water gets too deep. So you can either push them like canal boats, or more like Egyptian riverboat kind of thing where you do it like that. He's just still sitting there like gently wobbling, staring out into the lagoon as you all begin to load up on these 2 skiffs. Everybody make a dex check.
That's a nat 20.
Yeah, of course, save. It's the same thing, but
I'm also
No.
Check.
21.
21.
12.
12.
6.
16.
Lesley rolled a 7, but he's also pretty good at dex, so above 10. Everyone was above 10. Aderyn...
6.
Oh, 6. Okay, Aderyn, you are quite at home on these kind of things, considering Dinlonder with its canals and everything. So you very comfortably just step off the pontoon onto the thing without much of a trouble. No, don't even get damp. Balrick, being the fatherly type, makes sure that all of you get on first and then starts to try and unravel the things. However, he's not that used to these boats, and so he like unravels it, and it just, as he goes to step on it, it shifts in the water, and like while he gets on, like from there, like Ximori like throws a hand out and they like pull him on, like his back leg just like up to like his groin area just splashes in the water, and his entire like left leg is now like soaked through in like slightly algae covered water.
Balrick looks... It's not huge, but he looks uncomfortable with the fact that he's not on solid ground. There's definitely a sort of wobbliness. He's made sure everyone's got on first for the dad thing, but also like he's hesitant to get on himself.
Aderyn and Tauri would notice that hesitancy on the water. But just for the record, who is on which skiff? You have 2 skiffs.
Was
I
it
guess
Balrick?
I'm on the one with Balrick, if and I pulled him onto it.
Yep.
I feel like it was a mistake to have those 2 on the same one.
Well, if those 2 are on one, then
Also here with Pebble.
yeah, we'd probably forcefully either move one of them. Well, we'd probably forcefully make sure that those 2 and Pebble all aren't on the same one.
Oh yeah, I was going to say that Aderyn, being fairly confident, would probably take one herself. Like you're used to boats in this kind of like hull depth and that kind of thing. Obviously, Lesley would go with Aderyn because so if we assume therefore that
Yeah.
Tauri is on the
I'll
boat
go
with
on
the big
enough.
ones.
I'll go on a different one then, and I jump over to the other boat.
I was going to say you, Balrick, and Tauri. That's then 3 on a boat, and then there's 4 on the other one.
Oh, it's Togrim on the other one. Pebble.
Yeah, that was going to be
I didn't hear that bit.
Togrim and Pebble
Yeah.
with the 2 skinny LGBTQ ones.
I'm gonna get Pebble to just like crouch, lay down in the middle of the boat, try and like sort its center of mass.
Yep. And Tauri. Cool. Well, as you push away from the dock in the mid-morning at this point, it's slowly getting a little warmer, but it's not hot by any means. And you push away from the pontoon out into the lagoon and towards the thick canopy of Ishra wood. I think there's a decent place for us to pause this story for now, and we will pick up as you enter into the wood and begin your navigation through in the hopes of finding Fiddler.
And
But-
actual leaves and warts and snake venom and little stinky people.
Yes. But as the camera zooms out as your passage through the water begins, we will pick up there next time. So thank you, all of you, and we will see you lot later.